here to talk because I have a little bit different message than I think you've heard from a lot of these people, and I thank you, all of you, for coming and listening to us and seeing that these are people, human beings, these aren't statistics, this isn't theoretical, that these people are suffering, and we appreciate your looking us in the face, as you said, and listening to what we have to say. But I'm here because I represent the national parks, and this is a different issue that we'll talk about today in some ways, but people in the valley often think that they're escaping the air when they go to the mountains, but in fact, the air in Sequoia and Kings Canyon actually rivals like LA's air. They have as many bad ozone days per summer as LA, so that, I mean, a lot of people have no idea that it's that bad. And so, in addition to the human health and the ways that people are affected down in the valley, there's also a big effect on our natural resources and on human health in the national parks. So I particularly urge you on ozone, PM 2.5, those are the issues that concern us. And then I would also say that personally, I have a story here too. I'm not from Fresno, I came here for work, and I recently got engaged, and I have to say that unfortunately I will not stay here because I want children someday, and I refuse to take the chance, the very likely chance that they will be sick and suffer from asthma and health problems, and myself too. I think there's all kinds of statistics that show that there are premature deaths here due to the air quality, and so sadly I will leave the valley because of this. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome, Ms. Jackson, Mr. Jerry. We're very pleased to have you in our community. I'm a member of Concerned Citizens of West Fresno. We have poor air quality. We have many undesirable plants and rendering plants in our community. But I want to digress just for a moment and say that I recognize that much of what we're dealing with today did not happen on your watch, but it's things that you have inherited, which you are now responsible for. But I want you to know that we recognize that. And I also wanted to let you know that given the political climate right now and the moves that Republicans are making, how can we be supported to keep the EPA alive? Because we see the handwriting on the wall that they're trying to disband anything and everything that affects poor people. So how can we as a community ask you to do things for us, but continue to be supportive of EPA so that we can keep EPA?
My name is Lupe Martinez, and I'm with Central Race Fire and Environment. I'm going to be very brief. And without going into when I first started in this whole movement as a farm worker, and I saw Felipe Franco. I worked with his mother, went through the McFarland cluster. I've seen all these things and all these promises by the different administrators that we've had. But I think we have never given up hope. And I think that's what I want to talk about, is the hope that we have that someday, someone, and we're expecting that someone is you, who is going to do the right thing even when people are not looking. When you're going to do the right thing because you know in your heart it is educated, you know in your heart that it's the right thing to do. Because if one mother suffers, everybody suffers. If one child suffers, we all suffer. I want to appeal to your heart. I want to appeal to your conscience to think under God we're all his children. Thank you for coming. I hope I can count on that.
Thank you all for coming today. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for listening, EPA. And in order to keep this conversation going, we would request as follow-up that a page be established on the EPA website where any updated documents can be uploaded regarding the 5 demands that we've made today. We would also request that a staffer at EPA be appointed to these different demands so that as community residents and our advocates have questions, there's someone that they can directly go to with those questions.
I seem very reasonable follow-up requests, so I think we can move on those very quickly. All I wanted to do is once again say thank you, and just to answer the question about supporting EPA. Don't don't necessarily, especially, now take this the wrong way, but it's the laws of this country that are at stake. Not any individual agency, not any individual, certainly not person, certainly not any group of people. The Clean Air Act can and has worked. It hasn't worked, it's not, the work here is far from done. This area is challenged by sources as well as geography. The Clean Water Act has worked. The laws of this country, one could argue that they might need to be strengthened, but they sure don't need to be, and enforced, but they don't need to be vetted. So my only request on that is that you are obviously passionate, informed, and very effective advocates. Look at the issue in terms of the law and lawmakers who whose time would be spent making sure that the laws are that they pass, that were bipartisan laws, are actually enforced. Yes, the agency is under attack, and I suspect that funding for EPA will be a major issue going forward. And perhaps if many people were as engaged as this community is, we would be having a very different discussion. So I'm not allowed to lobby in my job or ask for money or get political. This is my day job. If it was my night job, it might be something different. But please, stay active. And again, EPA would be one of the places where you will have to see.
No le hemos.
So I'm still involved.